The Oklahoma Sooners have made a big change on offense. They have officially named true freshman quarterback Michael Hawkins the starting quarterback for this week against Auburn over Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold has to be a massive, and I mean massive, disappointment because he was a 5-star recruit coming out of his recruiting class. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year, and he had a lot of potential. And the Oklahoma Sooners staff was so confident in this kid to the point they told Dylan Gabriel, hey, like, we're okay with letting you walk. And with how bad he looked against Tennessee, you had no choice but to bench him. He just was making dumb decisions, man. And a lot of those turnovers that Oklahoma had were more Oklahoma just shooting themselves in the foot than it was Tennessee's defense being that great. Don't get me wrong, Tennessee has a great defense, but with the decisions that Jackson Arnold was making, that fumble that he had on that screen pass was just complete idiocracy. I understood why Brent Venables took him out after that play because, dude, what the hell are you doing out there? With how Jackson Arnold looked against Tennessee, you would have thought that Vegas made that call and they offered them $2 million to throw that game on purpose for Tennessee. Because that's how bad and dreadful Jackson Arnold was when it came to taking care of the football against the Vols. Like, they literally forced a turnover on Tennessee, got the ball inside of the red zone, just for Jackson Arnold to give it right back to him. With Michael Hawkins at quarterback now, you got somebody that's more dynamic, he's more elusive, reminds me a little bit of Kyler Murray with how he runs with the football, really agile. He's hard to get your hands on if you're on the defense side of the football and you're trying to tackle him. And we don't know too much about how consistent he is as a passer. We only saw a small sample size of him throwing the football. He went 11 of 18, 132 yards to the air, had a passing touchdown. But it's a difference when a team knows that you're going to be the starter versus a team not expecting you to come in as the backup. And now with Auburn having a little bit of tape on him, being able to game plan for him, we're going to see just how successful he's going to be throwing the football through the air. And it doesn't help that Oklahoma is just completely derailed with injuries when it comes to the wide receiver position. Their offensive line hasn't been that good neither. They had a few guys that started for the first time this season on the O-line, so they're still trying to gain chemistry, still trying to get that camaraderie. The offensive line isn't one of those positions where you can just get guys from the portal, you can just stick them at certain spots and it just automatically works. To have a good offensive line means that you got to have guys with experience that got good communication, and that's why the old line for Oklahoma has struggled, and that's another reason why this offense can't run the football. And I love what Oklahoma has at running back. Oklahoma has one of the better running back rooms in the SEC, but it doesn't matter how good your running backs are if the big boys up front can't open up those run lanes for them. And the good thing about Auburn is that their run defense isn't that great. They're 69th in rushing yards per game allowed. So if you can get that run game going and Michael Hawkins can be a part of that, hopefully that can open up some things for you when it comes to your passing attack that's struggling. Maybe you can, get some RPOs going. You can get some speed options with Michael Hawkins because he's a better runner than Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold, he's a good athlete, but Michael Hawkins is just completely different. And he wasn't a highly touted guy coming out of high school. He only was a 3-star recruit. So he doesn't have that blue chip background that a guy like Jackson Arnold does. But at this point, if you're Brent Venables, if you're not going to have a good offense, you rather have a quarterback that can take care of the football versus somebody who constantly is giving up the pigskin, because OU has the elite defense. And this defense is good enough to carry them in the treacherous SEC. This is a defense that can force turnovers. They can get stops at will when they need to. It's going to be hard to score 20 points on this unit. You saw how much Tennessee's offense struggled against this defense. It's not like Tennessee's offense was doing whatever they wanted to against OU's defense with the amount of turnovers that they gave up and the fact that they probably had the worst performance that we're going to see out of their offense for the entirety of this year, that is a testament to how good Brent Venables' defense is going to be this year. So if you got an elite defense and you don't have a great offense, you can still win games. You may not be able to beat some of the better teams on your schedule, but you can still have a 7-win, maybe a potential 8-win season, as long as you can have the ability to do something on the offense. If Michael Hawkins can make a few splash plays throughout the games that keep you in it, like maybe he can make a couple of big runs for 50, 40 yards that put you in scoring range. He can make a couple of big downfield throws. If you can find a way to score 20 points consistently, maybe find a way to get to 24, you can still have a good season if you're the Sooners. Because this defense is going to be pretty hard for the majority of teams that you play to even get the 20 points on this unit. It was a struggle for Tennessee. And when you got to play a team like Missouri, you know, like, I love your chances being able to win games like that. You may not be able to beat Ole Miss or Texas, but you can definitely win a handful of games that you have to play against teams that really aren't that potent offensively. So this Michael Hawkins dude, he may be able to right the ship for OU offensively. It may not be that big of an improvement, but at least you got somebody that can take care of the football and allow your defense to win you games without being put at a disadvantage with them having to defend a short field due to a guy like Jackson Arnold just completely being careless with the football.